Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope you have a great Monday and hopefully you've already got your cup of coffee or any tea to start your Monday and the rest of the week. So today I am going to talk about a little bit emotions, and emotions are from the book I've been reading, An Atlas of the Heart. I've been really loving it. I think if you want to understand how you feel and why you feel about it, I this is a really good book to start. It doesn't give you any solutions, which is funny, right? So most of self help books should give you solutions, but no. I think instead of giving you solutions to uh, solve the problems or to solve your negative emotions, it encourages you to work it on your own. So work on it on your own. So you are actually analyzing your own emotions and think about why you have that and how you react to it, or when did you have that, and then you come up with your very customized solutions to yourself. Um, it takes a lot of time to understand and takes a lot of time to figure out what solutions you need to have to deal with such emotions or such situation. But I think it's worth it because the more you understand yourself and your emotions, the better you will deal with that. Instead of just learning from someone else, say, wow, you got to do this, you need to do that, you shouldn't do this. I think sometimes you just need to pay an extra attention or it takes an extra effort to really learn something well and then really kind of keep it in your mind. So, but that's my opinion. Anyway, get back to our topic. Not like a topic, it's more like a chatting about envy and jealousy. Wow, you know what? I normally have that a lot. Not like in a bad way, but think about when I first came to Canada. I probably mentioned this just once or twice or so. I'm not a rich student. I wasn't a rich student, and I'm not rich now too. And my family are not rich either. So I worked my ass off to make a living, and I had multiple jobs, and I was just trying to pay my tuition, my rent, and my groceries. The difficult part is when everyone else around you is really rich. They were able to do a lot of things. They were doing, they go skiing and they go traveling and other things that I wasn't able really to do it because, because of my financial situation. At that moment, uh, I think I was jealous of them. I was jealous that they didn't have to work really hard to make money, right? All they were worried is to, study well or do well on their exams or something else. But I had to worry about my school and my work and other things. So I was definitely jealous. I think this reminded me of an interview Tara Westover had when they were talking about her blog. So it was I think someone asked her about her opinion on money, and then she said the thing that I really like. She said, "Money is a really good thing because once you have it, you don't think about it." And the poor people, the problem with the poor people is they don't have it. They constantly think about it and they spend most of their time on it instead of something else they were supposed to think of. I totally understand that. I spend a lot of energy and effort and my time calculating coupons and sales and discounts, right? Those kind of things, or the time I spent on those kind of things could have been spent on something else. For example, building a habit, or having a hobby, or studying really well on some certain subject. But I didn't, right? And was I jealous? Of course, because I would be like, oh, look at other rich kids. They don't have to worry about anything and not like me. But I read this book now, and I think back then that jealousy wasn't the jealousy. So Brene Brown gave a really nice definition about envy and a jealousy, and I thought that was really interesting to look at it, and I was like, oh, I never thought about that. So I'm gonna just go ahead and read the part I really like because you know what, I'm not good at remembering things, so why not just read it and so you have a full transcript about it. So here, what she says is, sorry, I'm going to just find that. So what she says that in envy there is sorry, my dog, hostility, right? So which means you have a hate there. There's something that it's hurtful, harmful, and there's a negativity there. Here, what she says is there is not full agreement in this research, but appears that some envy comes with hostility. I want that, and I don't want you to have it. I also want you to be pulled down and put down. Some experiences of envy don't include hostile feelings. I want that, but you can have it too, and don't want you to be put or pulled down. So, what she says here about envy is you have good envy, you have bad envy. So, when you have envy on someone else, and you tend to have this kind of feeling that you want it, but you don't want the other people to have it. And you also don't want other people to be good, you want them to be down. So that is the bad envy. And some little bit positive envy is you want it, she can have it too, and you don't have to feel like she has or he has to go down. So that's like a win-win situation. You're working your ass off to get what you want, but does she have it or not? Whether she has it or not doesn't really matter to you at that moment. But I think most of the situations we have in our daily life is we want it, but we don't want other people to have it. And that's what I used to have too. So now, um, occasionally, I would be like, I want to be the unique one, right? So I have this already. I'm not jealous or I'm not really envy. I don't really envy what you have because I have it, but I kind of want to keep the unique part. So uh, what I want about this thing is to not have you have it. So if you don't have it, and I keep the uniqueness of myself, right? So that's what I was thinking about envy. But I don't normally really want someone else's stuff and I want them to not have it. But sometimes, money wise, yeah, I don't want the money, but well, if you have that, good for you. But I don't need you to be like, go, I don't need you to go down or something like that. Mm, talent wise, sometimes I would be like, oh, look at other people, how they can speak really fluent English or how they can have a lot of talents, things like that. But then I feel jealous. I have that kind of envy that I wish I could have it. But have I ever thought about having it but not letting them have it and I wish they could go down? Uh, with regard to that part, not really. But I do realize when I have that kind of hostile feeling about other people is when I have it, then I don't want you to have it. Um, for example, oh, I would say there was something like I think it's writing or something. I thought I was really good at writing, and then there's someone else coming up with her ideas, and then she talked about that. And at that moment, I feel like, oh, I don't want you to have that skill too because I'm the only one who was able to do it. So, but because what she was, I really read that part and I was really thinking about what that meant to me is, and that's when I come up with this video is I realized that what I want when I have that kind of feeling, I'm not obsessed with the thing. I'm obsessed with being unique. So I thought if someone has that, then we will have a competitive relationship and then we'll become competitors and then we can be friends because if he has it or if she has it then it means I'm a loser. Most of the cases are not in that situation, right? So it's not like if someone has that and then you become a loser. It might become more competitive, but it's not like I'm going to kill you kind of competitive. Right? So that's why if you ever have a similar feeling, if someone has something that you actually have, and then you become jealous or you have that kind of envy, but ask yourself, is that because she has a thing that bothers you, or it's because you lost the unique part of having that thing, right? And then work from there. I haven't really figured out like solution to how to cope with that with this emotion, but I kind of feel like every time when I have that feeling, I can talk to myself about it. So I know, I acknowledge that feeling, I acknowledge the hostility, but then I'm working on it. And that is also the part of the important content of this book is vulnerability. So that's her research topic. She's been talking about and researching about it for so many years about being vulnerable. And then she did mention that being vulnerable is not your weakness. Actually, no, it's actually, what she said is being vulnerable is not kind of a feeling. Is you realize that you are weak, that's called being vulnerable. And I, in the very beginning, when I first started listening to her podcast and reading her books and even TED Talks, I didn't really understand what do you mean by being vulnerable. Is that like you will whine about what happened to you, or you will say like I just can't do it? And then after 20% of this book I've read, I realized that it's not about how you whine about to your bad situations. It's about how you actually face and acknowledge all the negative feelings you have. It doesn't matter if it's hostile or if it's really sad or negative, as long as it's a bad emotion, it's a bad feeling. You are able to face it. You are able to evaluate and analyze it, and that's called being vulnerable. Because most of the time, if you are being vulnerable because you are exposed to something that you don't want to admit or you don't want to face, um, that's why I think envy and jealousy is something that if I think about it, and then I will be like, oh no, I can't think about it and I can't have it because then that means I'm a bad person. So that's why I was like, it's really interesting. And the moment I recognize my feeling about envy and jealousy, I started getting more comfortable with myself because, well, you know what? I can get rid of it and it's going to happen anyway. If you remember previous video, we're talking about comparison. It's you just can't get rid of it. It's something that happened to you. It's not like you can choose, but what we can choose is we can choose to face it, and we can choose to acknowledge that we do have different kind of emotions and feelings. Sometimes we can be a good person, we can be a saint, but sometimes we can be evil because you know what? That's a part of human nature. And another part of human nature is always to avoid that harm and the hurt automatically, right? So being able to admit that I have envy on someone, I'm jealous of someone, I want to do something bad, well, in your imagination, right? Uh, then you right away will be like, I'm a bad person. But you know what? Every everyone has that moment. Really, I really think everyone has that kind of moment. You just want to do something really bad. You want the justice. You want the fairness, but you can't really do that in real life because we don't have that ability, and it's illegal, right? But part of the human nature is to avoid thinking about, hey, I'm actually sometimes a bad person because thinking of thinking about ourselves being a bad person hurts, and we don't want to admit that. And so what we do is to avoid those kind of feelings and emotions. So that's why I feel like it's very interesting to actually recognize that habit. And what she says here is very, very interesting. And so she says the fact that hostility and a desire for uh, denigration are sometimes a part of envy makes it tough to own that emotion, right? So what would we say? I'm envious, but not that bad kind. Swear, right? So you don't want to admit that. And when she talks about jealousy, uh, so actually she used the word called jelly, Jelly, jelly for short for jealous. So what they say here is sometimes when you say I'm jealous of something, you are actually giving compliments. So for example, if I see a girl wearing high heels, I would be like, oh, I'm so jealous of your shoes and I'm so jealous of you being able to wear high heels the whole day. So I'm actually giving a compliment. And do I have a hate there when I say that? Completely no. So that's the difference. When you're talking about jealousy, you're more like you like it and you wish that person with a good will, and then that's it. But with envy, it's more like you're having that bad feeling about what they have, and you're having a bad feeling about what they have that what they have is what you have, and you don't want them to do it. So that's something very interesting. So here, she says, I think it's a very interesting thing is what she mentioned about jealousy normally is in the context of a romantic relationship, but jealousy also applies to parent-child interactions, sibling relationships, friendships, and coworker relationships. And the most funny thing is what she said is um, jealousy happens when there are three people, right? So I was like, I never thought about that. So think about this: you and your friend, okay, you guys are growing up as really good friends, and all of a sudden she met another friend, and then she introduced another friend, saying, "Wow, she's really nice, and how about we have this group together? It will be besties all time, or something like that." And that moment, you feel like you're betrayed because your friend found another friend that your relationship has not been very stable at that moment because the third person seemed to like to destroy this solid friendship. So you're jealous of the third person. Same thing with a romantic relationship. So you would be you and your husband, you and your wife, or you and your boyfriend or girlfriend, right? So your partners. Let's say that, and you've been having really great relationship, and all of a sudden there's someone who is more intimate than you are with your partner, and what is your first reaction to it, right? And another thing, it doesn't have to be person, it can be a third thing. For example, you and your boyfriend together, and your boyfriend has been so obsessed with games, so you would be mad at him, but have you ever thought about that you're actually jealous of the game because the game got all his attention, but you did not, right? So I think that was a very interesting theory she mentioned about here. So, what she says here is um, while jealousy is frequently considered more socially acceptable than envy, it can often lead to more desired consequences. For example, some research has found that high levels of jealousy are directly related to problem drinking and to interpersonal violence when drinking. Other research has found that frequent experiences of jealousy combined with the problematic alcohol use are related specifically to higher levels of physical assault and sexual co- coercion. Mm. But is all jealousy dangerous? No, it's normal to feel some level of jealousy, and the research shows that in small doses and expressed appropriately, it is a normal part of healthy relationships. So I really like that. And then she actually quote a poet from Maya Angelou. So it says, jealousy in romance is like salt in food. A little can enhance the savor, but too much can spoil the pleasure and under certain circumstances can be life threatening. So I kind of understand what she meant there. She was trying to say that, well, if you are not jealous of your partner about something, or you're not jealous of someone about your partner, and does that mean you don't love him or her or something like that, but a little bit will make your partner feel like you really care about them. I think that's what she meant here, but it's just very interesting to mention it. I really like it. And then she says, last, it's interesting to note that people who are more satisfied in their romantic relationships are less likely to be jealous about potential relationships threats. However, they're more likely to react negatively to actual relationship breaches. So I wasn't really sure about that. I feel like it's more like they trusted their partners, but then one day they figure out, oh, they're really betrayed, and that's when things really goes ugly. So I was thinking about that. But she didn't really say anything about how to deal with that. But what she says here, last paragraph, I did mark it. I would just read it to end this video. It says, regardless of whether we choose to change our language or not, understanding the nuances of that language can help us ask ourselves the right questions when we are experiencing jealousy or envy, we're feeling afraid or sad or angry, or we're deep in coveting mode. We have the tools now to ask ourselves, am I fearful of losing something I value to another person, or do I want something someone else has? If I want something that someone else has, do I want to see them lose it, or is it not about that? If I'm scared I'm losing something important to me, what kind of conversation do I need to have with that person? So I feel the last paragraph is a really good start for me to think about those questions, because she really didn't give any answers to how to cope with that. But she does give solutions about when you have those kind of emotions or reactions or feelings, what you should do is to ask yourself questions and then specify those questions about your specific feelings. Why do you have that? When did that happen? Who triggered that happen? Or what triggered that happen? And how did you react? What kind of feelings did you have when you first had this thing going on? And then after that, that's a whole analysis about how you will react and how you will feel and how you can actually deal with that. So that's a journey you have to take on yourself. And that is, of course, the journey I have to take on myself as well. So I think it's really good. And I just want to share that with you on Monday. Maybe it's a bad day to do it. But anyway, there will be more videos about this book. I think it's really, really interesting to talk about all kinds of feelings and how we react to them and why that happened to us. Very inspirational, and what very, very helpful. Um, Personal opinion. So anyway, I will keep reading it, and hopefully I can finish that anytime soon. But no guarantee. This is definitely a slow reader. I'm gonna take my time and really make notes and digest that, and hopefully I can transfer the knowledge and share that with you guys. So that's it for today. And I really, really hope you have a wonderful Monday and a wonderful week. I may not do another video for this week just because it's the last week of the school year and I may be super duper busy. So I don't know. But if I do have a chance, I will definitely make another one. But if I don't, wait patiently because my vacation is going to come and I will definitely make more videos more frequently. Okay. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.